Breaking news development coming in now. In the Mehul CHOKSI investigation, the Enforcement Directorate has filed a fresh charge sheet, this time against his wife Priti CHOKSI. The court is yet to take cognizance. For more details, Shawan joins us live on this story from Delhi newsroom. Shawan, over to you. What more details you have? This must be a supplementary charge sheet in which Mehul CHOKSI's wife Priti CHOKSI has been named. All right, we are trying to get Shawan on the phone on this breaking news development where the Enforcement Directorate chasing all the economic offenders, fugitives of India. Mehul CHOKSI, remember, is out of the country for some years now. In fact, a few months back, there was a possibility that he could have been brought to India. In the pictures, you can see him with his wife Priti CHOKSI, and now, because she was an accomplice in the crime, she is named as beneficiary of the proceeds of crime. A charge sheet now has been filed against Mehul CHOKSI's wife Priti CHOKSI in thousands of crores of scam indulged in by the businessman fraudster. And for more details, we have to get to Shawan on exactly in which case this charge sheet has been filed. Remember, there are a number of cases against Mehul CHOKSI, uncle of Nirav Modi, and the wife and many others in the family were shown as beneficiaries of the proceeds of crime, and that's why this charge sheet against Mehul CHOKSI, wife Priti. For more details, Shawan now joins us. Shawan, over to you. What more details you have? This must be a supplementary charge sheet. In which case is this charge sheet filed against Priti CHOKSI?
Well, in fact, Abhishek, we're given to understand that this has been filed before a Mumbai court. The details that we're getting right now. First point that has been mentioned is that Priti CHOKSI, who has been named as an accused in this particular case, according to the Enforcement Directorate, she was the ultimate beneficiary of a few offshore companies, and they were allegedly created and they were used for laundering and routing of money. That's point number one. Point number two is that she was the nominee of most of the firms that were basically owned by her husband. And let's not forget, there are multiple companies that were created by Mehul CHOKSI. These were companies that were operating from countries like Hong Kong, from which the money was being routed. In fact, they also have some Mumbai-based companies that have basically come under the scanner. And what we understand is that investigators have essentially come across evidence of how the money was basically defrauded from Punjab National Bank, and that was through a letter of understandings. The LOUs and the money that was being routed, they were laundered by shell companies that were linked to Priti CHOKSI. Important to point out here is that, remember, after this matter landed up in the Dominica court, Enforcement Directorate, in order to strengthen this entire case, they had named Priti CHOKSI as an accused in this particular case. There has been a considerable delay as far as filing this charge sheet is concerned, because we were given to understand that last year itself they were working towards ensuring that this charge sheet should be filed so that this would actually bolster the agency's position before the courts in Dominica. But it now turns out that the Central Bureau of Investigation had taken the lead in Dominica, but as far as the Enforcement Directorate is concerned, they have largely been looking into the links of the companies with Priti CHOKSI, and keeping that in mind, this charge sheet has now been filed. Court is yet to take cognizance of this case, of the charge sheet. A date is likely to be released, and only after that the charge sheet would be filed.